Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So in today's video, you guys, I'm going to share with you a April garden tour. Today is April 30th. I actually recorded this video 3 days ago, so I just want to share with you all what my garden is looking like at the end of April to keep a log of how my garden progresses over the season, and then also share with you all what everything is looking like and how it has progressed as well. So we're going to start over here on my patio area. I recently added in this gazebo. It was gifted to me by Purple Leaf, and then I redid this whole space. So I'll actually have a video. I actually do have a video on it. It's linked on my main channel. So I have that video linked down in the description box below if you're interested in where everything is from and then how I put this whole outdoor space together under here. I'll have that video linked in the description box below. But I absolutely love this gazebo because not only does it provide a really nice shaded area for us to kind of hang out during the season, but it also keeps us dry, so it doesn't get any water or anything under here. So it's just a really good plus for my patio space. So we're going to start over here with the plants that I have around my patio. I have this rose here. This is a David Austin rose. It is the Lady Gardener rose. I had this a few seasons. I did just recently repot her up, so she don't have any blooms or anything on her just yet. And the pot that she was in was really root bound, so she kind of had a little bit of stress. So I ended up repotting her into these pots that I have here. So hopefully she'll have some blooms on her pretty soon. And then right here, I have a calicoloe. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but calicoloe. And then I'll show you the tag, but it has these really pretty, beautiful pink blooms on it. And I bought this during maybe around March, I think, at my local grocery store. And it's just been blooming its head off ever since. So this is the tag that and what the name of it is on here if you're interested in this plant. But absolutely love it. It is a plant that you can grow on the inside, but it does do better if you put it in a shaded spot where there's a little bit of dapple sun. I definitely wouldn't put it in a full sun area. Now on the back of my patio area, I have these set of pots over here. I have my lemon tree. This is the Saxon brand. It's doing really good. She had some type of fungal growth going on her last year, so I ended up spraying her with some copper side, and she's kind of rebound really well. She was full of blooms. She, as you can see, it does have some lemon growing, but some of the lemons are dropping. So I don't know what's going on with that, but some of them are actually holding on. But she was just full of flowers. So hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of lemons this November. So, but she's rebounding really well and doing good. And then below this tree, I have this perennial basil that I got, I think, a year ago from my local nursery, Plants for All Season. Absolutely love this plant. I actually like it because of the blooms on it. I know with basil, you don't really want it to flower and bloom, but this one I let flower and blooms because the blooms are just so gorgeous. It has these beautiful large purple stalks. As you can see, it's already kind of been, the blooms are kind of getting dried up now, or getting ready to be done. And then once you deadhead them and cut them back, they just rebloom again. So this plant, it will literally bloom from now all the way into frost. Absolutely love it. And the basil actually tastes pretty like a spicy taste to it, so you can cook with it and all of that. So it's really good. And this pot, I just started some cardinal basil that I grew from seeds that I'm trying to let that grow out. So over here, I have a gardenia tree. I forget the variety of which gardenia tree this is, but it is a gardenia tree. She's been struggling for me for a while, so I actually ended up cutting her back, and she's actually flushing out really well. So she is definitely rebounding really nice. So I always struggle with gardenia trees because they're very finicky to me, because sometimes they don't want a lot of water. They don't want to be dried out. So you have to really, they're very temperamental. So this one has been giving me a hard time, but she's actually doing a whole lot better. Then over here I have this large raised bed that I have had this raised bed here for years, and I usually plant it up with different things throughout each season. I usually plant it up with different things. Last year I added those large Italian cypress in the back of them just to add some privacy from the neighbors. And then this year I underplanted it with these dahlias. All of these dahlias I end up getting from Costco. So I think the variety that I have in here is called Rip City, and then Armetrius, I think is the name of the dahlias that I have in here. I'll share the tag if you can read my handwriting, but they are just doing well and loving their life. They are huge. So I do have them staked up so that they have a little bit of support, and then I also have it underplanted with some diamond frost euphorbia by proven winners underneath it. So I can't wait for these to start blooming and just give me all kinds of beautiful pink and purple flowers. So over in this pot, I have my olive tree. I had this one for at least 2 or 3 years now, and she's putting on a lot of new growth. I'll put the name across the screen because I always butcher the name, but absolutely love it. And then over here in this corner along my shed, I have some various shrubs that I have growing, which is my Blue Point Jupiter, which is almost a mature size. And I also have one hydrangea limelight that I have in a pot here. Now over here on my shed area, I have a couple of pots that I have here that I planted up. I did these containers. These are aquapots by Proven Winners. And then each container I have planted up with some white lantana. I also have a red canna lily, and then also have some chloropsis that's in each planter. So I love the way this container look. I really put the canna lily in there for the foliage. I really don't like the bloom on there, but it has really pretty red blooms. But I really like it just more for the dark foliage. But they are doing really good. And I also have some ivy that's along the side as well. So on my shed, I have 3 window boxes, and I planted up them with Supertunia Vista bubblegum. Absolutely love this plant. As you can see here, it put on a whole lot of growth since I have planted them. And I planted this up maybe a couple of months ago, early March, and they are just doing really well. And then now we're going to go over here to this other side of my garden, which is like another garden room I created, which I absolutely love. So I have this arbor here that kind of separates the area. This arbor I did get from Wayfair, and then I have I have planted on it some star jasmine. So the star jasmine is probably like maybe a year old. It's absolutely doing phenomenal. And then it has some white blooms on it already, so it's doing really, really good. And then over here along my patio side to the left of my patio, I also have a trio. Well, I have several pots over here. So I have a rosemary shrub that I have in this other white pot. And then also I have down here at the bottom, I started some apple blossom geraniums from seed, which is doing really good. They just haven't put on any blooms yet, but they have a lot of growth. They kind of took off very slowly. So I started these from seeds, I don't know, maybe about February. They just now finally putting on a lot of growth. So hopefully I'll have some blooms on it soon. Then also I have here a rose tree standard. This is a knockout rose. It usually have beautiful yellow blooms on it. Very pretty. And then underplanted I have some creeping Jenny. And then I have some other trailing plants in here as well, but I forget the name of the variety, but it has these beautiful purple flowers, little dainty flowers. Right now it has no blooms because it pretty much already bloomed, but it'll rebloom again, hopefully. But right now, that's what it's doing. And then over here in this pot, I have an elephant ear. This is from Proven Winners. It is an annual. I actually planted this one up last year, and it actually didn't die. It came back, so it's doing really good. And then over here I have another yellow mini rose that I have planted into this container, which have these really beautiful deep yellow flowers. And then this window box here I planted up maybe about a month ago. It was on a struggle bus. So I added in these vinca, I think it's chocolate cherry or something like that. They're really, really pretty. And then I also have some dianthus in there as well, and some creeping Jenny. But this one is not hooked up to irrigation, so it's struggling a little bit. So I think I'm going to go in and add some irrigation and change that out and add something else. And then on this side of my shed, this is a work in progress. I still need to work on this bed here. Right now I have it underplanted with some gardenia shrubs that really have been struggling. They really haven't put on a lot of growth. They are supposed to be dwarf size, but they just haven't really put on any growth or any blooms or anything. So I think I'm gonna end up changing those out and putting something else. I also have a rosemary bush in this pot that ended up getting waterlogged because it had so much rain, but I forgot that I had the plug underneath the inside the flower pot still in there, so I forgot to take that out. So it's my fault that this plant is like struggling like this, but I fixed it, so hopefully it'll rebound and dry out. Then over here I have my window boxes too planted up with Super Tunia Vista bubblegum. As you can see, these ones are not as big as the one on the other side because this kind of a shaded area a little bit because of the trim that's on this shed. So, and then one of them I end up losing. It just dried out and died, and it has irrigation hooked up to it, but one just didn't survive. So I don't know what went on with that. I do spray them with BT once a week, so I know it's not getting ate up by anything, and I do fertilize them every week. So I don't know why that other one died. But we're going to move over here to my raised bed. On the back of my house, I have like 4 raised beds here. They are from Landguard. And then I also have my 2 back raised beds that have a arbor that I have star jasmine growing on it as well. But these 2 raised beds in the front, I have them planted up with some flowers. So I planted these zinnias. These are from Johnny Seeds. I started all of these from seeds this year. These are Ballerina and Oklahoma White, and they are doing so well. I love that they have this beautiful kind of pretty muted pink color to it, and then it kind of fades to a then I think it goes to like a darker pink, and then they are just like really beautiful flowers. I really wanted something that I can have some cut flowers, so they are like taking off and just doing so well. And then underplanted underneath them, I did add in some green beans, some bush beans. So I planted like maybe 4 bush beans in a corner just to kind of fill in this space underneath the zinnias. And then plus I like to mix in flowers when I'm growing some of my food as well, just so I can have some pollinators, and then also kind of add a little bit of color into the raised beds as well. This is a zinnia called Purple Prince that I started from seed. And then I also have some more of the Ballerina and then Oklahoma White in this bed. So these beds are very large. So it has like 2 sides. I don't even know how large they are. I think they have to be like maybe 60 inches wide. They're pretty big. So in the back of the bed, I have these dahlias that I started from tubers. So these dahlias are the same that well, actually, no, this is a different variety. These dahlias I got from Costco as well. I have the tags in there, but I can't remember the varieties offhand of what these are. But I think they are the same variety as the Armitrias and the Rip City, because I think I ended up getting like 2 packs of those. So, but they are just putting on a whole lot of growth. And then in the 2 back beds, I usually use reserved for food. So I have various things in here. I'm trying to go through this video really quick and not spend too much time, and so it won't be too long. But I have some peppers growing in here. I have some herbs. I have a few tomato plants, which I have some cherry tomatoes, and then I also have some Roma tomatoes as well. I also have some bell peppers. I have some several herbs and things like that inside of these beds, just to, because I like to, grow some things, in my garden. Then I also have a cucumber plant all the way in the back that's in a grow bag, if you guys can see. Yeah, back here in this grow bag. And then I also have another bell pepper plant here, and they're all doing really well. So I kind of, because my space is so small, I don't have a lot of space to kind of have, grow a bunch of things, by themselves. So I try to utilize as much as my space as I can and just combine things together just to save on space. So yeah, but everything seems to be growing really well and doing good. I already have some. This is a banana pepper plant here. These peppers are huge. So I'm gonna pick a lot of them, and they're doing really, really well. But yeah, so mainly in these raised beds, I have like bell peppers, jalapenos, banana peppers, tomatoes, and I have several herbs that's growing in here. And then I have 1 cucumber plant that you can see here on this that I have in this grow bag. So that's pretty much all that I'm growing this garden season. Not too much, but I am trying to grow some things. Then over here I have my gerantin tree that I have had for a couple of seasons. It has these really beautiful purple flowers on it that are just gorgeous. Right now it's just now starting to put on some blooms. And this is another one that kind of blooms all season, just does really, really well. And then over here I have another basil plant that I started from seeds. This one is some Thai basil. This is from Baker's Creek, and it's actually doing really, really well. So I started this from seed and it's doing good. So in this flower pot behind it, I have a celosia. This one is called Selway Terracotta, I believe. It's doing really good. I started from seed. As you can see, she does have some damage on it. It was some caterpillars that was biting or eating on this plant. And then now it has little dots on it, so it's kind of struggling still, but it's still putting on some blooms and doing okay. Over here in this corner, my husband built me this little potting table just so I can use to, house some of my plants that are not in, that I haven't potted up yet. And then also so I can have a spot to plant some containers. I can move it out and use it if I need be. But it has just 2 shelves on there that he just took some wood from Home Depot and made this table. Right here I have some vinca. These are called, I think, pink polka dot, and these are cascading vinca. So I absolutely love these because they trail. So I planted these up last year and they lasted from spring all the way up into frost, and they just did really well. So I'm going to add them somewhere in the garden as well. Now in the front of my raised beds, I have these 2 large black pots. These have my Eugenia topiaries in here. I had these for a couple of years now. They did have a little bit of damage from the winter, so I'm trying to let them leaf out and put on a little bit more growth before I actually give them a good haircut. But for now, they're doing really, really well. So now we're going to go over to my long border. And flanking each side of my long border, I have 3 large flower pots. So they are planted up pretty much the same. The larger flower pots, I have these Blue Point Jupiter topiaries, and then I have underplanted with this beautiful verbena. This is called Violet. Absolutely love it. Then I have an arborvitae planted in a second container, and then this smaller one, I have some sun patience, which pink and whites and red, and then a grass in the center. Then behind it in my long border, I have this beautiful yellow flowering shrub. It's called Trialis or Dialis. Very beautiful. It blooms all season. Absolutely love it. And then I have 3 arborvitaes. So this year I wanted to try my hand at growing gladiolus bulbs. So I bought a pack from Costco this year, and that's that long grassy texture that you see growing up through the garden, through the flower bed. So it doesn't have any blooms or anything on it just yet, but it has like the foliage is already developed on it. So I ended up doing like groupings of like 5 throughout this bed just to kind of add in a pop of color for the summer. So I have some tucked in behind there as well, and they're doing really good. Here I have, this is a purple pillar. This is a Rosa Sharon purple pillar plant. It's by Proven Winners. I actually chopped it down to nothing. I thought I removed it, but it keeps on regrowing itself. So I might have to remove that again because it's budded up just next to my arborvitae. So I'm gonna have to take that out. But see, I also have some gladiolus there in front of my little statue as well. Then also I added in several gomphrena throughout this garden bed as well. So this one is just called Purple. I did pick this up from my local garden center, Plants for All Season, and it's doing well. So I mean, it's doing really well. So it's gonna fill in this space here and add in a big pop of pink color to this garden bed because I have a lot of yellow in my garden. I didn't realize I had so much yellow in my garden since until last year, but I absolutely love yellow in the garden. It just gives a really nice, to me, bold color. Then also I have a prairie fire crabapple tree that is growing. She's doing pretty good. She's only maybe a year old, but she has a lot of new growth on it, so she's doing really well. And then also I have a lemon what is this thing? A lemon cypress shrub that's in the back that's still on a smaller side. And then also I have like 3 grasses planted in this bed as well that I've had for about 4 years. They're pretty much at mature height, and they usually get between 4 feet tall, and they stay pretty compact, but they bloom all season, and then they stay upright. They don't flop. So because I know some grasses, they do flop, and then they flop, you have to stake them up. But these ones, they hold their shape and they just look good all season. I don't know the variety of them because I had them for so long, but I did get those from Houston Garden Center as well. I also have another gomphrena here, and then I also have a Wicked Witch coleus back there that I kind of tucked in. I also have a dianthus that I had there for years. It's kind of buried under there. Then I also have like 3 or 4 Rosa Sharon purple pillar plants by Proven Winners that are in the along this fence area too. They have these beautiful kind of soft pink flowers on them, and these get 10 feet tall. I mean, they get 10 feet tall and they stay narrow, and they just add a really nice impact to the garden. I also have a Shasta Daisy by Proven Winners as well. This one is, I planted this up last year. I had two. One died, and then this one is the only one that ended up surviving. Then also I have a crepe myrtle that I have in a pot there. She's called Ebony and Ivory. Has beautiful dark purple foliage and white blooms. And then over here on this corner, I have another trio of those pots. Kind of like the same thing. Only difference is I have, instead of an arborvitae, I have a Eugenia topiary in a single ball. And then I underplanted it with some vinca. This is that, I think it's called black cherry vinca. It's doing okay, but I think I might add in something else to it just to have to fill in that gap. I have another Trialis shrub. This shrub is really gorgeous. It usually get at least 6 feet tall, so it'll fill in this area back here, and it has beautiful yellow flowers on it, and the stems that have like this dark color stems on there, just really pretty, and then has these beautiful yellow blooms, and it blooms from spring all the way up until frost. I try to invest in things that I know I'm going to get a lot of color and it's going to bloom for a long season without me having to change out things. So I absolutely love that. And then also I have a Forester Pansy Merlot, which it did have some blooms on it for spring, some flowers, but it doesn't have any leaves on it yet. It's usually is like the last thing to leaf out in my garden. Very slow. So over here on this corner, I have another Wicked Witch Coleus. I think I bought like maybe 3 just to touch into this main bed, just to have a little bit of dark contrast in color. I have a couple of dianthus that I have buried on here that I'll probably end up having to move. And then along the bed, I do have some lantana, which is just blooming its head off. That's doing really well as well. So that is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.